have actual conversations with their guests.
Okay.
Set aside some time, whether it's on social media or whether it's face-to-face or mask-to-mask. Doesn't really matter. You have to have the conversations. The beauty is everybody's got stories to tell.
Hey Canada, it's Dana Hospitality. I'm here with two amazing people from our marketing team. I have our Director of Marketing, Robert, and I have our Brand Manager on screen, Candy. Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you for asking.
It's going to be fun.
All right, lots to get to, but as you know, with all the social distancing that's happening, marketing and communications with your stakeholders and your customers is more important than ever. So I have a list of questions to get through with the team, and very, very excited to hear your insights. Let's get to it. All right, Robert, let's start with you. From a marketing point of view, what changes can we expect to see in the industry when we're talking about the food service landscape? What can we really expect to see?
Well, there's lots of changes, of course, but I think one of the best things to remember is that our industry is really just about two things, people and food. I think the biggest change you're going to see is going to be deeper and rekindled relationships. People have been kind of quarantined, if you would, for about 3 months now, and they're looking to get back to the cafes and rekindle those relationships with the chefs who they know and trust. Of course, the food element is implementing all the new safety protocols, which we're completely ready for. We've got the social distancing, we've got the washings, we've got the PPE in place, and they're going to see all that. But their reason for coming back is that they've got a great relationship with our chefs. Because our chefs cook from scratch every day, they use fresh, locally sourced, healthy ingredients. It means that the guests have a relationship that they've been relying on for a long time because the chef knows what ingredients are in it. So if the guest has an allergen or a dietary restriction or just a taste preference, those connections are already there. And we just need to welcome them back and ask and listen to their stories.
Very cool. Candy, what about you? What are your thoughts?
From what I feel we need to be more visible when it comes to measuring or to measures like safety, cleaning, and PPE. We need to reassure our consumers that we have a continuous schedule to ensure their safety. And when I say continuous schedule, I mean cleaning before operations, during operations, and after operations. We need to show how we are delivering our food to them in a safe manner, meaning non-contact. And that would be items like baked goods, prepackaged items, soups served to them, coffee, and that could be something as easy as serving it to them on a tray rather than handing it to them, so we could avoid hand-to-hand contact.
Excellent. So you guys talked a lot about PPE. You spoke a lot about reensuring safety and obviously the importance of brand. What is Dana's focus right now with regards to rolling this out in different units and some of the different strategies you guys talked about? Let's start with you, Robert.
So, of course, we're customizing the plan for every single location. We were lucky enough during the COVID intervention to keep 53, I think, locations open for hospital accounts, any essential services needed to actually have their cafes open and stuff. So we got some great learnings from that. We set aside a fantastic operations team to come up with reopening plans, and all of those are getting implemented in July and August so that by September everybody's up and running again. But of course, it's always customized in two ways: for the local requirements, because some regions open faster than others.
Sure.
And then some clients require more people and less people in certain locations as well. So we have a fantastic plan, and then it gets customized at the unit level.
And Candy, what are your thoughts?
So Dana and Merrick Hospitalities both have always had a great, excellent safety record. We've always practiced great safety, and we will continue to do so. The big difference going forward will be showing our customers what we're doing, because typically when we're cleaning, etc., we don't like to do that in front of the customer, right? We don't want to have our bottles, our spray bottles in sight. Now we will have them in the same sight lines for consumers to see. Changing out gloves, wearing masks. This is all going to be new once we start reopening, and it's something that consumers will be used to, because as they go outside their house, they see it happening, and we want to assure them that we are doing or practicing the same safety measures as the retail locations.
It's a very good point. For Dana Hospitality, both health and safety and food safety are really woven into our culinary culture. Because our people cook from scratch every day, safety has always been a top concern.
Right.
But to Candy's point, demonstrating the behavior visibly for guests to see is just going to be a positive reinforcement for them. So that'll be great.
In the last 3 months, while everyone has been social distancing at home, we've been getting a lot more email type of marketing, right? Like, we're here for you. These are the steps that we are taking to ensure your safety. Different companies coming out with different promos. What do you guys think? Do you think that that's an effective marketing strategy? Is that something Dana's rolling out at all? Or do you think that there are different ways to kind of stand out in this environment?
We need to be more transparent on, as I mentioned, safety, cleaning, and PPE measures. But more than that, in the last few months, our consumers have become more mindful on where their food is coming from. And when I say that, I mean specifically in light of the protein manufacturers, the outbreaks of COVID, etc. So I feel what we need to do is, although we have our local maps and our customers are seeing where we purchase from, I think we need to go a little bit further. I think we need to focus on a specific farmer, protein farmer, to show what their safety measures are to ensure that they're keeping their people safe. So being more transparent on where we're purchasing, and of course, our safety, cleaning, and PPE measures.
Robert, what do you think?
Agreed. Absolutely. I would also take it more towards the guest perspective and say there's two things I'm hoping each of our teams do really well. In addition to all the safety precaution stuff, have actual conversations with their guests.
Okay.
Set aside some time, whether it's on social media or whether it's face-to-face or mask-to-mask. Doesn't really matter. You have to have the conversations. The beauty is everybody's got stories to tell. So we're going to be welcoming guests back and giving them an opportunity to share their story. We want to hear their stories. We want to hear what menu items they craved and they missed. From our surveys, we heard that they're really missing Chef Paul's jerk chicken, so that's going to be on the menu. If they have any other comfort foods they crave and they want to see on the menu, we're going to satisfy those needs. And then the other big piece to that isn't just having the conversations, but actively listening to them to find out what it is their concerns were, if any, and did we overcome them? How much, what would they like to see on the menus, and how we can really interact and rekindle those relationships matters.
Very, very cool. So, Robert, you talked a little bit about giving the power to your customers to decide certain things on menus, and that do you think that a lot of people who will go back to their companies or their work office or their institution's cafe, do you think that they'll be excited to go back to some favorites? Is that something you're anticipating, or do you think it might be that they're cautious?
I think so. There's two parts to that. I think absolutely everyone will be cautious going back into an office environment that they've been away from for 3 months. They're going to want to see that the safety protocols are in place and they're demonstrating the proper behaviors. But the beauty is trust overcomes fear. Trust is one of those things that we already have trusted relationships because we're feeding these people usually 2 or maybe 3 times a day. They remember that. They remember that we serve fresh, scratch-made dishes every day that they love and they crave. So we're going to bring them back for those.
Excellent. Candy, what are your thoughts?
They will absolutely be looking to see what we are doing to help keep them safe. They're going out more and picking up takeout or having food delivered. They're so well versed onto what the fast food companies are doing, and their expectation is for us to do the exact and follow the exact same rules.